I saw something weird today. It comes from TMZ. It's a surveillance camera clip of a guy sniffing a sofa right after an underage girl had got up and left from it. And this clip actually sparked a bit of a debate online, as everything seems to nowadays. Even something as objectively gross and unacceptable as this. There's no audio in the clip. Everyone's just been uploading this with different royalty-free stock beep beep boop bop music like Mr. Krabs was listening to in SpongeBob, so I just went ahead and muted that. That was apparently an underage girl that just got up and left, and this guy wanders in there and immediately just beelines like a homing missile to the sofa where she was once sitting and just dives in like he's bobbing for apples, gets a big huff, and then just leaves. This happened at a dance studio, and apparently one of the owners had contacted the police to report the disturbing incident. The cops watched the video, felt it was strange behavior, investigated, discovered his identity, and were determining whether or not criminal charges are warranted. The girl was apparently leaving a dance lesson, and then he executed Operation Super Sniffer while another dance lesson was in progress. I feel like any normal person would watch that and agree that that is disgusting, creepy shit that is definitely warranting some kind of punishment. I don't know what the charges would be. I don't know if they've written into law, illegal sniffing or something, but I have to imagine there's gotta be something, right? Like, this is behavior that has to have some kind of repercussions. He walks into this dance studio after this child leaves that sofa, and it seems like his main goal there is to sniff where she was. Now, it does seem like there is like a cut between when she leaves and when he enters. I don't know how much time elapsed, but he immediately has like a mission in mind. Like, he goes in there with a plan and does it right away, then leaves after smelling it. I don't know if he's even on a phone call. Maybe that's just a ruse. But, I mean, if he is, he's talking to somebody on the phone. Oh, yeah, business, business, business. Business, 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 business. And then excuses himself from the dance studio. Like, it's fucking weird. Since there's not a ton of information about this, it's been a lot of speculation on what he's even doing there in the first place. Because it's not like he just ended up there by pure coinkydink. He didn't just spawn in the second that girl left the sofa. He was clearly already there. And the question then becomes, why? Maybe he has a child that also attends the same dance studio, which would be extremely concerning. I also have to imagine this isn't his first rodeo with this kind of shit, considering he just so brazenly does this just in public here, while there is another dance lesson going on as well. Absolutely, like, no hesitation or anything. He just walks in there, he gives like a little hand gesture, like he was doing a Jedi mind trick to an ant or something, and then he just immediately goes for it. This is a sick freak. Now, as I mentioned, this clip has actually had a bit of a debate with people defending him, if you can believe that. And I'm sure you can believe that, because that is the state of the world right now. The biggest thing people are saying to fight for this guy's honor is that maybe he didn't know that that girl was underage. Maybe he thought that was an adult. Okay, let's play ball with that game theory. Let's assume he thought this was an adult instead of a child. It's still creepy, fucking gross behavior. Even if he did this not at a dance studio but at a bar, it would still be some unacceptable degenerate shit. If he's just spying on women, waiting for them to get up from their seat so that way he can march over there, fee-fi-fo-fumming his way so he could stick his nose where their ass once was in order to get a whiff of the fumes there, freaky style, that would still be fucking weird. Like, it doesn't change that fact. This is unacceptable behavior. And the fact that he does this where a child was sitting makes it significantly worse. I then also saw people unironically saying that maybe he had smelt something bad and wanted to check where it was coming from to make sure everything was okay, like a gas leak or something. Which, I gotta tell ya, sports fans, that is lunacy, to actually be trying to make that argument in this case. How many of you, when you smell something bad, your instinct is to go shove your whole face into it? Like, if I smell dog shit and it's like, oh boy, this is yucky, I'm not immediately going to bury myself in that dog shit to confirm the bad smell. Like, this guy was damn near rolling around in the sofa. Like, there is no world where this guy was just trying to investigate a, yucky smell to figure out where it was coming from and what was going on. And it doesn't look like he smells something bad, by the way. He's not like, oh, like he's not scrunching his face up. It looks like he is like delighted to go right where that girl was sitting on the sofa so he could get a big smell of it. It is a crazy, actual, unhinged take to try and say that maybe this guy was trying to figure out, get to the bottom of a mystery of a bad smell. And now the security camera footage makes him look bad. That's nuts. I have to just show you this comment here. I saw this first on a YouTube short, and this comment was in the replies to someone upset about TMZ even bothering to cover something like this. So this is one of the people saying, well, it could have been a bad smell. What if there was a bad smell and he was checking where it was coming from? There's so many reasons why that could have happened. Get a life. There's so many reasons why that could have happened. They're making it sound like this guy tripped and fell or something, or slipped on a banana peel. What do you mean so many reasons why that could have happened? It's not like it was an accident. This guy didn't just lose his balance and plunge face first into the sofa where that underage girl was sitting. He did it on purpose. There's not so many reasons. This comment was so delusional that it would have actually been comical if it wasn't also scary, where this person's going to try and excuse this kind of behavior as maybe he was checking for a bad smell. There's plenty of reasons why this guy might have went over to that sofa to sniff where their child was sitting. So many reasons. Get a life. Get over it. It's not a big deal. It's so fucking peculiar. It's sad. It is sad that something like this can't even just unanimously be condemned anymore. That there has to be people still, for some reason, fighting tooth and nail that A, it's not a big deal, or B, you're just not understanding what actually happened here. Here's the real story, and it's just fucking fanfic people are pulling out of their ass to defend a complete stranger who was just a degenerate. What the fuck? Now, just to be crystal clear, the vast majority of people agree that this is completely unacceptable and that there needs to be punishment coming to this guy for this. I truly don't think this is his first time doing it either. I think he has probably done this many times. This is just the first time he's been caught doing it. So most people agree with that sentiment, but the fact that there's even a handful of people, a noticeable amount of people defending it, is just so pathetic. It is just so sad. There are some even more outrageous explanations people have drummed up, but I'm just going to give you one more, and it's this little thread right here, which was in reply to the clip. There may be some reasonable explanation for this behavior. He enters, talking to someone, goes to couch, sniffs, continues talking, then leaves. That is not the behavior of a perv who would spend more time with the area where the girl sat. Perv may not be the explanation. Now, I don't know why is, but I will watch the story. He then has a couple of people who agree with him in the comments. The idea that a perv would sniff a couch for only 3 seconds then leave is ridiculous. Whoever released this video should be sued for violating privacy. Employees should be able to do their jobs without having every moment scrutinized by an online mob. There are so many assumptions there, I don't even know where to begin. I don't know where he's pulling this from, that it's an employee doing this. If it is, that's extremely alarming. This other person chimes in. I thought the same. Felt like something smelled wrong, maybe like piss, and he fast checked. I would imagine something different if you really wanted to enjoy that. So basically the Goof Troop's argument here is because he only did it for 3 seconds, he's not a pervert most likely, because he didn't take his time to enjoy it. And they say that the notion that he is a pervert is ridiculous because he only spent 3 seconds doing it. That makes no fucking sense. That doesn't compute. Would you also say that the Burbank butt sniffer is not a pervert? This was a guy who cruised bookstores and would periodically sniff women's asses. And he would only sniff their ass for half a second, maybe a full second. Is he not a pervert because he didn't spend his time enjoying it? He didn't sit there for 10 seconds doing it. Is the Burbank butt sniffer also innocent? This is stupid. They're unironically trying to say that he didn't meet the time threshold to be a pervert, thus there must be another explanation. Doing the act at all is the act of a pervert. It doesn't matter how long he did it for. What the fuck? That is so unbelievably dumb. And it's not just this group of 3. Like I said, there are quite a few people making the same argument. And then that last guy had an even stupider take about how maybe he was checking for piss. Okay, so the piss patrol walks in here, and the way that he checks for urine is to face plant into it. Who checks for piss that way? Who would possibly do that? I have yet to see any explanation for this other than him just being a fucking degenerate. There is just, I feel like, so little wiggle room that this is some kind of misunderstanding. The only thing that I was able to think of, and I think it is so fucking unrealistic that I don't think it's even remotely possible, but the only thing that would maybe make this a misunderstanding is if it turns out that that guy is that girl's father, and he is on the phone with her. That's who he's talking to on the phone, and she was worried that maybe she shit her pants or something, so then she had her dad go in there because she was embarrassed, so now she's talking to her dad on the phone, telling him where she sat, so then he goes and checks and sniffs to see if there's like a shit smell coming from it in order to let her know whether or not she like ruined the sofa or something. But I think that is very unlikely considering the dance studio contacted the authorities. I feel like the dance studio would probably know if that was the girl's father. And also, again, if he was there to investigate a bad smell, whether she shit or pissed or something on the sofa, he wouldn't put his whole face into it and like run it around the sofa. Nobody in their right mind would do that. I feel like there is just no possible explanation for this that isn't him just being a fucking freak. So anyway, I wanted to talk about this a little bit. That's really about it. See ya.